What's up, guys? Gaonan here, and welcome to episode 3 of Drafting the Masters. Since the last episode, I did 2 drafts, which not only got me through the end of silver, but also all the way through gold into diamond. Our last 2 drafts went really well. They were 2-color decks essentially, splashing very lightly for a 3rd color, and they were both pretty aggressive. The last one was really insane, had 2 Tinker Overseers, a Paladin Oath book, so it was just nuts. So this season is going a lot better than last season. It only took me 4 drafts to hit diamond. Feeling pretty good about this season so far, but just want to continue to draft well and keep producing good content for you guys. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel because, as we've mentioned in the last couple of episodes, at 250 subscribers, we'll be giving away a free coaching session with me one-on-one where we'll go through the draft together, talk about the picks. You can pick my brain about anything draft related, and then we'll also go through the games together, talk about lines of play and ways to improve. Hoping that's an exciting announcement for you all. And we're almost at 240 subscribers, so make sure you get subscribed so you're in that first 250 so you can make sure you get entered for the raffle. But I'm excited to continue our climb through diamond, so without further ado, let's get into another draft. Our first pick is not super exciting. I don't really like Unraveling Fanatic just because there are a lot of ping effects in the format and you're letting your opponent draw an extra card as well. I don't get excited about Sadistic Glee. Steel-Eyed Pistoler is pretty good. One of the cards I'm considering, I think Carnivorous Sauropod would be reasonable here, and then Mighty Strikes I think is your other option. Given that I want to kind of stay as open as possible, I'm leaning more towards Steel-Eyed Pistolier or Mighty Strikes just because they leave us more open rather than committing on the first pick to Genev. Maybe it doesn't make sense to value Sauropod any differently than Pistolier in that way, but I think I'm going to just pick Pistolier here just because we're more likely to see the other two again, and I think Pistolier is a pretty good 3-3 for 3. Okay, so we could stay on faction and take Fall Short here. We could take Fireheart Recruit, which Rakano is a nice place to be. I think those are pretty much the 2 cards you want to be looking at here. Nothing else is very exciting. And since we have the Pistolier, I'm going to take the Fall Short here. Albatross is really good. I think that's probably the pick here. There's also Mighty Strikes and Token of Honor, so this could be that maybe we're going to be Huru splashing for fire, but it is still very early. I don't think Pistol Whip is any good because it's not fast, and the other cards don't really excite me very much, so I'm just going to take the Albatross. Okay, Barrel Through is a fantastic renown trigger. Fixes for both Primal and Fire. Coastal Recruit is some filler. Token of Instinct is fixing, but just going to take the Barrel Through here and see what happens. Shingain Forge is pretty nice. Maybe Primal ends up being our splash instead of Fire. I think it's worth taking here over the Coastal Recruit. Recruit is fine, but it's nothing special. And none of the other cards are screaming at me as far as higher power level that we should be shifting gears into another faction. So just going to take the Forge here over the Recruit. Surveiller's a nice pickup. I really like this card just because it's aggressively statted and pledges a strong keyword. I really like Lazy Firemane. Very good with bare arms because when you play it, it becomes a 5/4. So yeah, I'm going to pick the Lazy Firemane here. There's also Cartographer, but I think I'm going to stick with the Firemane since it seems like we're seeing more fire cards now than we are Primal. I say that and then there are a bunch of Primal cards, but I don't think either of these are great, so I'm just going to take the Token of Ambition here. Softfoot Burglar is pretty bad. I think I'd rather just take the Court Mage. Maybe we still end up with Primal being a little bit more significant than we originally thought. So I think it makes sense to take Court Mage here. Guess we'll take the Fledgling Aviasaur, but hopefully won't have to play it. Token is fixing for us, so we like that. And Endure. Okay, into pack 2. Really wish we could take Memory Dredger, but we have 0 shadow cards, so I don't think that makes sense here. I'm pretty much looking at Oni Ronin, Valkyrie Arcanist, or Runecrawler Yeti. And we have quite a few 3s at the moment, so I'm just going to take the more aggressive Oni Ronin. It can still run away with games if your opponent has a very slow start. Ruination Sledge is nice. Rakano Stranger is good fixing for us. I think it's between those two here. And I think I'm going to take the Ruination Sledge over the Rakano Stranger. Hopefully this doesn't burn me and we don't get enough fixing, but I think Ruination Sledge is just much more powerful. Ooh, this is a really bad pack. I guess I could take Hoof Slash for a trick. Could also potentially take Kopesh as like a finisher. I don't like Mace's removal, but maybe it's okay. But I would say it's between these 3, but I'm pretty nervous if this is how the rest of this pack is going to go. But yeah, I'll take Kopesh here. Really don't like Refracted Sentinel because it helps your opponent more than it hurts them, I think, because it helps them find that third color that they're usually looking for, and they're getting to higher levels of power than you are. So I think it's either Spear Diver or Rakano Banner. So yeah, let's take Spear Diver here. Calderon Gunsmith is pretty bad. Barbarian Camp is not good either though. But I'm not impressed by any of the other cards either. I'd say Grimy is probably the strongest one, but once again, I don't think we're moving into Shadow, so gonna take the Barbarian Camp here. So we could take Sky Crew here, we could take the Rakano Banner. Maybe Justice is our splash and we're more Sky Crag. And if that's the case, then I want to take this Rakano Banner, so I think I'm gonna do that here. Gale Prowler is pretty bad. Also don't think this is necessarily a Wisdom deck, but maybe it is if we're thinking we're going to go into the late game with Shinigami Forge. But yeah, I don't think Prowler is great just because the spells that we're going to have are pretty minimal. So I guess I'm going to go for the more value-oriented Wisdom here. Hail Shrieker is just a 2-drop. If Justice is our splash, then Mithril Mace doesn't really see play. So we're going to take the 2-drop here. So we could either Gruan form or Gale Prowler. Once again, I don't think we have the spells for Gale Prowler, so I'm going to take the Gruan form here, even though it's a pretty bad trick. Take another Rakano Banner here and just have really good fixing. Skycrag Banner is fine. And Heavy Axe. Ooh. Steelfang Chakram is amazing in the Renown deck. Just keeps coming back. Even though there's Ice Sprite here, I think I'm going to take the Chakram. Really good on Spear Diver, good on anything with Renown, good on flyers that have Aegis, so yeah, Chakram it is. Alright, let's do a quick body count just to see where we're at, make sure we're on track, or where we need to shore things up. So we only have 9 bodies at the moment, so we definitely need bodies. If we're going for a more value-oriented game, I feel like it makes sense to take Scaly Gruan here. Peacekeeper's Helm is probably the best card in the pack for us, but I think we need bodies. We especially need early game. So I'm leaning more towards Scaly Gruan than I am Grenadendron. Rakano Stranger I think is the right pick this time. Some decent early Justice cards also, and some really nice time cards honestly. But we'll take the Rakano Stranger here. We need the early game, we need the 2-drops, and Rakano Stranger helps fix us for the potential Justice cards we want to play. Skycrag Stranger is another fixing Stranger, so I think we'll take that here over the Valkyrie Arcanist. Once again, I think Justice is going to be our splash, so I'd rather just get another 2-drop that helps fix us. Recogulator does have like a little bit of synergy with Shingain Forge, so I think I am going to pick it up here, and maybe we actually play this Barbarian Camp and have like a mini go wide strategy between Lazy Firemain and Recogulator here. So I think I'm going to take it here over the Hoof Slash. I think the Justice cards are probably better, but I'm still not convinced that we want to be equally split between these 3 colors. So I'm just going to take the Recogulator. Another fixing Stranger is great. So we should be about perfectly fixed, so probably don't need many more Strangers after this, but happy to take it over a second Recogulator or a Flight Lieutenant. Granite Acolyte is amazing. Really love this card, and I don't know if it's stronger than Arcanist. They're probably fairly equal and fill different roles, but happy to take Acolyte here. We'll take Barkeep's Friend for the removal and potential Renown trigger. This time we'll take Grenadin Drone over the Hail Shrieker. We'll take the Mithril Mace, but probably won't play it. Fasora might make the deck, and a second Mithril Mace. Alright, so before we get into this 4th pack, let's do a quick unit count, make sure we're in a good spot, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so we have 17 units, so we're doing okay. We're not like desperate for units or anything like that. But now more it's about shaping our curve, figuring out what this deck wants to do, like what is this deck's game plan, and picking cards that help further that game plan. So it seems like we're Skycrag and then we're going to be splashing for Justice. It's possible that we just cut the Justice altogether, but I think our fixing is so good that there's not really a reason to not play some of these Justice cards, like Barrel Through, like Fall Short. Don't know about Pistolier. Probably makes the deck, and Kopesh probably gets cut. So let's just do that now. Now, as far as this pack goes, it looks like Conflagrate is the best card. I don't see Swindler being good for us. Our only relic is Barbarian Camp, and that costs 4. Cargo could be good, but there's a lot of randomness in that. So I think it just makes sense to take Conflagrate. It's better than Fall Short for sure. So I think Conflagrate makes the most sense. And then there are some pretty decent Justice cards, but yeah, we'll just take the Conflagrate here. Beastmaster is fantastic. New Order Watchwing is also very good. Wondering if it's better to take Watchwing here over Beastmaster. But given that we don't want to have to find double Justice even if it's on 6, I think it's probably fine to take Beastmaster here over New Order Watchwing. So yeah, we'll take the Beastmaster here just because we don't want to have to find double Justice for New Order Watchwing, even though I think this is probably the more powerful card. Bear Arms, I talked about it earlier. It is so good with Lazy Firemain, so really happy to see this. Hopefully we can find another as well. Hey, ask and you shall receive. So a second Bear Arms, I think it makes the most sense here. Better than Fall Short for us, I think. So yeah, we'll take another Bear Arms. Okay, so we could have another Fall Short. We could have Surveiller for a Pledger, which could potentially replace Recogulator, but I think it's okay to take the Fall Short here. Actually, we could also take Acantha's Outrider. Even when you don't have a lot of relics, this card is still a 3/3 flyer, so could be worth just taking it here as some additional top end. I think I like that more than Surveiller and Fall Short. None of these cards are great for us. Gonna take the Replicator Engine in case we see a second one. Maybe we'll play it. Another Bear Arms. I don't think we'll take another Bear Arms, so I think here we'll just take Cartographer as a way to cycle through our deck and find the cards that we want. Don't think there's anything here for us. Another Outrider probably won't play it, but maybe we'll see. Spitfire probably won't play. Glider and Consuming Greed. So first let's take out the power. And then next we need to, I think almost all the spells are good. Gaonan form is honestly the most questionable one. So we'll get that out. Let's get the Spitfire out. I don't think we want two Acantha's Outriders, even though they are pledgers. I think the Bear Arms and Ruination Sledges are great. I think Chakram is good, Shingain Forge is good. Barkeep's Friend, it's not fantastic, but we are pretty light on removal, so I'm wondering if it's worth keeping this. Probably is. I think Barbarian Camp can probably go. Fledgling Aviasaur is pretty uninspiring, but I'm wondering if it's better than Fosaurus, since we're going to have a lot of ways to generate weapons between Shingain Forge, Steelfang Chakram, and things like that. So I think I'm going to take out Fosaura here, probably take out Recogulator, and we could either make one more cut or let this be the deck. And I think given that this deck wants to, I mean, it can be aggressive, but I think the real plan is to kind of stall out and win in the air. I think it's best to go to 18 power, make sure you hit your power drops. So I just need to make one more cut. And it could just be Iceberg Hail Shrieker here. I think we have plenty of 1 and 2 drops. And Hail Shrieker doesn't do a lot for us. So I'm going to take it out, and I think this will be the deck. Alright, so let's get the power add to the deck. Then we'll add power. I think this is way too many Justice. It's probably something more like that. Maybe even more like that. Since fire is our main color, primal less so, and Justice even less. So let's do some quick influence counts here. We have 15 fire sources. That is a ton, so maybe we can go down on the fire. Primal, we have 9. So yeah, let's do 1 there. So that'll be 14 and 10. And then Justice, we have 5 sources. It might be that we need an additional Justice source. That would be 6. I think this is still potentially light on the Justice sources, but I don't want to go too much deeper on the Justice sources. Not sure if this is the right way to go about building this deck, but I think it's doing the best with what we have. So I think this is the deck. Just want to close out this drafting and deck building portion of episode 3 by saying thank you for being here. I appreciate your support. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do so that you're entered into that raffle for the free coaching giveaway. Next, what'll happen is we'll go into the games video. We'll talk about the deck a little bit, what I think is good about it, what I don't like about it, and then we'll actually get into some games. So I hope to see you in the next video.